Hello everyone, welcome back to Unveiling Myths and Legends. Today we're going to dive deep into a story rich in mythology, one that tells the legendary tale of two heroes from ancient Greek mythology, Castor and Pollux. Known as the Dioscuri, their story begins with their mother, Leda, and her encounter with Zeus. This video will take you through these ancient legends, exploring the myths, emotions, struggles, and sacrifices involved. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting stories. Leda's background and Zeus's favor. Leda, the central female figure in ancient Greek mythology, not only possessed beauty, but also had a mysterious story deeply intertwined with her fate. She was the daughter of Theseus, the king of Aetolia, which meant she was no ordinary woman. Though of royal lineage, Leda's tale wasn't solely about politics and power. It was driven by a romance that transcended the boundaries between gods and mortals. Leda's beauty was undeniably the starting point of her fate, and it caught the eye of none other than Zeus, the omnipotent and ever-present god in Greek mythology. Yes, the very same Zeus who was known for his irresistible charm and boundless power. Despite his ability to sway nearly anyone, Leda's beauty captivated him so deeply that it became an unbreakable emotional bond. This tale, both romantic and mysterious, has left a profound impact on myth and later poetry. According to some versions, Zeus transformed into a swan in order to approach Leda. This metamorphosis wasn't just a means to capture Leda's attention, but carried a mystical power. The swan, a seemingly fragile creature, carried within it Zeus's mighty divine energy. Each flap of its wings seemed to alter the course of fate itself. In some versions of the story, Zeus, in the form of a swan, seduced Leda, and their union eventually led to her pregnancy. This unusual love affair was not only a union between two beings from different realms, but also foretold a future that would change the course of destiny. At that moment, the divine power bestowed by Zeus began to shape Leda's fate and bring countless miracles to her children. It's important to note that this swan was no mere bird, but an incarnation of Zeus. Every time it flapped its wings, it symbolized a powerful force capable of crossing the boundaries between humans and gods. The mystical aura surrounding the swan and the divine essence it embodied made this love story all the more symbolic. After Leda became pregnant, the complexity and depth of Zeus's love story grew. Depending on the version, Leda gave birth to two different children, one being Heracles and the other the famous warrior Castor. The births of these children would not only alter the history of ancient Greece, but also lay the groundwork for countless heroic tales. The birth of the twins. Leda's miraculous encounter with Zeus not only altered her fate, but also gave birth to two extraordinary heroes, Castor and Pollux. These twin brothers, nearly identical in appearance and talent, were awe-inspiring. Their birth evoked images of mythic heroes, endowed with unparalleled strength and courage. Castor and Pollux became central figures in Greek culture, and their image has remained etched in the mythology, holding a significant place in the pantheon of gods and heroes. Castor and Pollux were renowned for their incredible physical prowess. Their robust bodies and exceptional skills made them leaders in their respective fields. Castor, undoubtedly one of the greatest charioteers of his time, was unmatched in his ability to drive a chariot. Whether in chariot races or on the battlefield, he could always execute every movement with astonishing speed and precision, maintaining control even in the most dangerous of situations. Pollux, on the other hand, was famous for his unrivaled boxing skills. His punches were so powerful that no opponent could stand against him. Each strike seemed to carry the weight of divine strength, leaving spectators in awe. The bond between the two brothers was extraordinary. Not only did they share the same appearance and talents, but they also shared an unbreakable emotional connection. Some even believed their bond was so deep that their hearts, emotions, and thoughts were perfectly in sync. Regardless of the challenges they faced, they always relied on one another, supporting each other through thick and thin. This deep camaraderie made them an unbeatable duo in their future adventures. Their relationship was not just a symbol of brotherly love. It gave them limitless energy in their mythic quests. Whether battling fierce monsters or overcoming difficult trials, Castor and Pollux always stood by each other, facing each challenge with courage. This unshakable brotherly bond became the source of their strength, and it was the strongest foundation they had as they ventured through each mythic adventure. Participating in heroic ventures, the Calydonian Boar Hunt and the Argonauts. Castor and Pollux, the twin heroes of ancient Greek mythology, were far from mere side characters in the stories they graced. Their courage and intelligence shone brightly in many historic adventures, establishing them as true heroes. One of their most famous adventures was the legendary Calydonian Boar Hunt, which became one of the most iconic events in Greek mythology. During this hunt, many heroes gathered, including Heracles, Hercules, and Atlanta. Each of these heroes possessed extraordinary strength and skill, but Castor and Pollux also stood out for their exceptional bravery and cleverness. While Heracles and Atlanta were perhaps the most famous figures in the hunt, Castor and Pollux did not fade into the background. Not only did they fight valiantly as warriors, but they also played a key strategic role, guiding their companions on how to track and trap the fearsome boar. In addition, the twin brothers also participated in another perilous adventure, the quest of the Argonauts. This group of fearless heroes was on a mission to retrieve the legendary Golden Fleece. Castor and Pollux not only displayed their exceptional combat skills, but also actively contributed their wisdom throughout the journey. The quest was fraught with danger, but Castor and Pollux's bravery and tactics earned them immense respect among their fellow Argonauts. Love and conflict. The affair with the daughter of Leucippus. Castor and Pollux, despite their heroic deeds and bright legacy, did not live a life free from conflict. At one point, they both fell in love with the same beautiful and noble woman, the daughter of Leucippus. Leucippus was the king of Messenia, and his daughter not only possessed great beauty, but also had noble blood, which made her irresistible to both brothers. However, this love story was far from simple. Leucippus had already promised his daughter's hand in marriage to two other heroes, Idas and Lynceus. This was a common practice among the aristocracy of the time, where marriages were arranged for political gain to solidify family power and alliances. So Leucippus' daughter was already engaged, which made the situation more complicated. Despite this, Castor and Pollux were unwilling to give up on their love for the princess. They were deeply in love with her, and could not bear the thought of her marrying anyone else. The brothers devised a bold plan, and decided to take matters into their own hands to claim the love they desired. They persuaded the princess to betray her engagement, taking her away, and rescuing her from her arranged marriage. Naturally, this caused a massive uproar, especially with her two betrothed, Idas and Lynceus. Idas and Lynceus, enraged by the brothers' actions, felt not only offended, but also that their honor had been challenged. They swore to avenge themselves and demanded a confrontation with Castor and Pollux. What followed was a fierce and dramatic duel, a battle not just of heroes, but also a clash of love and honor. The air was thick with tension as the two pairs of heroes faced off in a contest that would determine their dignity and fate. The tragic end. The sacrifice of the twin brothers. The duel began with heavy overtones of tragedy. The confrontation between Castor and Idas was intense and filled with hostility. This struggle was not only a contest between heroes, but also a battle between two men's honor and love. In the end, Castor tragically lost his life in battle, and his fall left a deep sense of sorrow. On the other side, the clash between Pollux and Lynceus reached its climax, With great courage and strength, Pollux defeated Lynceus, killing him, but in doing so, he was filled with deep pain and inner conflict. The outcome of this duel was not just a matter of life and death between heroes. It revealed the cruel and indifferent nature of fate. Despite their unmatched strength and bravery, Castor and Pollux could not escape the twists of destiny. Castor's death left Pollux without his closest companion, and their bond as twin brothers was instantly shattered, plunging everything into endless sorrow. However, the tragedy did not end there. Zeus, the god, watched everything unfold from above. He saw the suffering that Pollux endured after losing his beloved brother, and was deeply moved with compassion. Zeus reached out to Pollux, offering him the gift of immortality, allowing the loyal brother to escape the bonds of death and live forever. This offer was undeniably tempting, but Pollux made a choice that would touch the hearts of all who heard it. Pollux refused the gift of immortality, a decision that moved everyone who heard his story. Pollux did not want to live alone in the world. He wished to reunite with his deceased brother, Castor. This deep brotherly love touched Zeus, making the mighty god feel the greatness of human emotions. Ultimately, Zeus granted Pollux's request, allowing him and Castor's souls to alternate between life and death for eternity. The divine status of the twin brothers. Although fate was unkind to Castor and Pollux, their loyalty and sacrifice elevated them to an incredibly revered status within Greek mythology. Despite enduring much pain and hardship, and ultimately being separated by destiny, their names remain deeply embedded in ancient Greek culture and belief, becoming legends passed down through generations. In particular, in the city-state of Sparta, the story of Castor and Pollux was seen as a sacred symbol. Spartans held courage, loyalty, and honor in high regard, and the spirit of these twin brothers perfectly embodied these values. Their story was not merely one of heroic adventures. It represented the human pursuit of loyalty, brotherhood, and the noble spirit of sacrifice for love and ideals. Whether it was loyalty to the homeland or selfless love for a brother, Castor and Pollux became symbols of these virtues. People believed that the story of these brothers symbolized love and loyalty, and conveyed that even under the relentless arrangement of fate, heroes could still uphold their beliefs and responsibilities. Their sacrificial spirit made the world realize that heroes are not just those with great power, but those willing to give everything for others. This spirit transcended the barriers of time and became one of the core values of ancient Greek culture. Moreover, Castor and Pollux were also regarded as protectors. Many cities and tribes built temples in their honor, and various festivals and rituals were held in their names. These festivals not only commemorated the magnificent deeds of the twin heroes, but also expressed reverence for their spirit. These activities became an important way for the people to demonstrate their loyalty and courage, and the legendary story of Castor and Pollux was passed down through generations. Every year, countless festivals and ceremonies were held in honor of these heroes. During these rituals, followers would pray to the brothers for courage, protection, or blessings for a successful war. These temples and rituals were not only religious symbols, but also embodied the people's admiration for the heroic spirit, marking an unforgettable chapter in Greek culture. Today's story takes you into a legendary tale from ancient Greek mythology, the story of Leda, Zeus, Castor, and Pollux. It is a story of love and sacrifice, glory and tragedy. The legend of these twin brothers not only showcases their heroic qualities, but also reveals the complexity of human emotions. Whether it's brotherly love, romance, or the path of a hero, these myths offer us rich spiritual nourishment and endless inspiration. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as we'll bring you more exciting mythological tales. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.